So I just got back from the pool, hence my hair being up. The turtleneck was a decision. I was basically looking for clean clothes, and my apartment's, not my apartment. I'm so used to having lived in apartments in my 20s that I still say my apartment. My house is like really cold, so I'm getting back from the pool. Anywho, this video is going to be about Whole30 essentials that'll get you through, because I'm now on day 4, but in reality, if I hadn't had like mini cheat days, which were all a result of like a lack of preparation, I would be on like week 3. And the cool thing is I've broken like some parts of Whole30, like, which is why I had to reset. Like, I drank alcohol, and I what else did I do? I think one day, I had carbs, and probably sugar in a margarita. Yeah. But other than that, like, I haven't had Diet Coke in almost a month, and I like literally would have probably, like, this is sad but true, like probably 6 to 9 Diet Cokes a day. So that was like the hardest part for me, resetting or like starting the diet initially, because I was full-blown addicted, and I've only had 2 things of caffeine. 2 times I've had coffee, like iced coffee. So like that has done wonders for my skin, for my sleep, for my anxiety. Like, it's great. But anyway, so Whole30, if you're like looking into doing it, is a 30-day program, and it's specifically a 30-day program with no cheating, because the idea is to take out all foods that like do not meet all 4 of their good food standards, which I'll go over, and replace them with only good foods, and then replace the potentially harmful like food groups, introduce them back into your diet after 30 days, because 30 days makes a habit, to see which ones you can live with and which ones, like, turns out maybe you were like lactose intolerant and you didn't realize it, or you had a gluten allergy or whatever. So anyway, the 4 like healthy food standards, which all foods are allowed in the diet have to meet, are they should promote a healthy psychological response. So like alcohol meets none of the good food standards, but alcohol and caffeine, for example, specifically like Diet Coke or sugar, like sometimes we drink these things, or we eat these things not because we're actually hungry or thirsty, but because like we think that it'll help us relax, or we need it, it'll help us with energy, or we're having like a sugar craving. And so like the idea is like rewire that like psychological response in your brain and find other healthier ways to get dopamine. The other one is promote a healthy hormonal response. So that's probably like the primary reason like that dairy is not allowed, because dairy messes with your hormones, because we are not baby cows growing up. Like, we're adults that don't need that much hormonal feedback. The other one is promote a healthy gut. And then the last one is support immune function and minimize inflammation. So anything that misses like one of those standards is ixnayed. So anyway, the things that I'll get to the things you can't have, and then I'll get to the things that you can. I'm leafing through. This is the first book that you should read if you're doing it. It starts with food, and it's kind of like the why behind. Like, you can get the cookbook and all that, which still gives you like the why, but this breaks it down so you understand why you're doing it, and why all these different foods could potentially have a problem with your body. And I guess the whole point is, like, if you don't eliminate all of them, then you're never gonna know. Like, all of our processed foods we eat, there are so many things that could be effing our bodies up, and we don't even know, because they're like all in conjunction together. So that's why you have to get rid of them, period. So the least healthy foods, that means the foods that meet none of the standards, like they literally have not a good benefit for them, are alcohol, sugar, and sweeteners, which is why I can't have like Diet Coke, because Diet Coke contains aspartame. So they mess with your hormones. They mess with like your leptin. They're empty calories. They like are not natural, and again, sugar has a psychological response, so they make you think you need something that you don't need. And when you don't have it, you have cravings. If you're craving something, then it's probably like messing with your psyche. Again, alcohol meets none of the standards, so these are like the worst. Seed oils, like you can have some. Well, you can't have seed oils because you can't have seeds. But I won't get into that. Chapter 10 is grains and legumes. So these don't meet, I think, 3 of the 4 things, namely what is it that they, oh, grains and legumes meet none of the good food standards. I'll just leave it at that, so definitely cut them out. Dairy is only the hormonal thing. So in theory, like you could introduce hormones or dairy back in. What else? And I think that that's it. And they could lead to like what they call a leaky gut. So things that you can have include meat, seafood, and eggs, animal broth. You can have vegetables and fruits. In fact, the majority of your plate is supposed to be covered in vegetables and fruits. And then like some yeah, you can have those. Okay, so those are the things that you can have. So these are some things that like have helped me survive on this diet. Like I am not a big cook, so like a lot of this stuff looks like incredible, but like literally before I started this, I had not even, granted I was a vegetarian for forever, but I had never even like made ground beef. Okay, I've never cooked chicken. Like I have like pan fried salmon, that's about it, because I live by myself, and like I generally, this is really cost effective, like we'll go home from work and we'll stop at like Kroger and get a thing of sushi, and then like I'll have some cheese and crackers. So like I don't really like cook, and now I'm learning. This is cool because like this is forcing me to have healthier life habits as well, because now I'm learning how to like meal prep, all that. So anyway, like I said before, the main reasons that I have like not been able to like successfully have like full-blown perfect days is because like after week 1, which was great, of Whole30, I went on like kind of a vacation. Oh my God, I'm just always gonna do air quotes. It is what it is. But I went to stay with my dad for a week, and before that we went on his houseboat. And I, for the houseboat, had prepared nothing. I brought one of my like must-haves, which I'll show you later, but the microwave didn't work, so. And it like forced me to go off a diet that I like really enjoyed. And then we went out to eat every day, and it's really kind of difficult to go out to eat unless you like preview the menu on this diet, because you don't know like what is going into your foods. And I managed to eat foods that like I'm pretty positive were like friendly. Like I'm not completely positive about like one of the salad dressings was okay, but one salad I got like vinegar and oil. Like that's fine. Olive oil is okay. So anyway, and then like when everybody's ordering, maybe you have better willpower than I do, but if everybody's ordering like multiple, like not an insane, like not getting like crunk, but if they're having like a couple glasses of wine, and like my grandma with dementia is like being kind of rude and giving me anxiety, I love her. then it's really difficult for me to be like, I'll have water, please, with lemon. Like, so, like, that was really where I caved. Was on vacation, like, I would get a glass of wine at dinner. Just because, like, I just find it stressful to be, like, not in my own environment. And, like, in an unhealthy way, alcohol, like, eases stress. So, anyway, that's how I got off my diet. But now that I'm home, I was, like, prep. I am prepped. I'm fully prepped for 2 weeks, meaning I'm, like, my refrigerator's stocked. I don't have any temptation around me. I don't do well with temptation around me, too, which is why vacation is difficult. And it's like all foods that I realize I like and are easy. So these are what I would say are like your must-haves. And then I'll show you like specific brands that are like life game-changing. So I bought, of course, like a lot of chicken breasts. I put them in the freezer. Like one of those massive packs. I got, I wanted salmon fillets, so they didn't have them, which is probably good because they're more expensive. So I got, like cod, I got and tilapia. I got a ton of greens. I got a ton of berries, like blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. And I got a big thing. Well, I'll show you in a second. Yeah, and like nuts, stuff that I can have, I can make meals out of, because I typically have a salad and then I'll put like a piece of like fish on top of it, or a piece of chicken or whatever, and that goes well for me. So my go-to meals are typically like a fruit salad with avocado cut up. Avocado is really good. It's like a thumbs up on the, really recommended amongst the good foods. The good foods that they recommend. It's like either a half or whole avocado, depending on what meal it is, and some sort of protein. And then I will have one of these dressings. And these are my first, like, oh my gosh, game-changing, delicious, must-buy. And somebody else recommended these to me. So this brand is called Tessemae, and you can get it at like Kroger and Walmart, like, in not just Whole Foods. You know, there's some diets it feels like you have to go to like a natural food store. You can get all this, and this dressing is the bomb. They're creamy Caesar, and it doesn't have anything that's against the diet, and so there's no dairy, and there's also no added sugars, and it's made out of extra virgin olive oil, egg. So yeah, this is like diet friendly, and it was recommended, I think, another person's Whole30. I've had multiple people recommend to me, and I think I also had it recommended on something else. But anyway, this is another, not all of Tessemae's, you need to read the ingredients because not all of them are compliant. But anyway, this one is organic avocado ranch dairy, or not dairy, organic avocado ranch dressing. It's also the bomb. Then this one is organic habanero ranch. Again, dairy-free, sugar-free. We are good to go. The only thing that's like slightly concerning is that there's a little bit of, it's mostly olive oil, but there is a little bit of sunflower oil, but I don't think very much, and I don't remember if sunflower oil is not allowed. So, but anyway, you're not supposed to weigh yourself, but when I had to restart, I weighed myself, and I lost 10 pounds in a week. So, and I can tell that I'm like keeping it off. You know, you could feel how you're doing. So, and I feel a lot healthier. So if a teeny bit of seed oil in a dressing escaped me, but it's managing to keep me on diet, then F it. I shouldn't say that. This I got, I'm not a big, there's a similar brand that Thrive Market makes that was like actually like plugged by Melissa Hartwig, who's the person who started Whole30 with her husband. But this is the same thing. And it's mayonnaise, but it's avocado mayonnaise. And I don't really love mayonnaise, but I do like chicken salad. So like you could make that with this, like, you know, shredded chicken, this, grapes, nuts, you're done. And yeah, it's made with avocado oil, egg yolks, water, distilled vinegar. See, like they want you to be able to, oh shit, organic cane sugar. Well, I'll be giving this to someone. I think like for ketchup and mustard, there's like a very specific Whole30 made one. Shoot, how did I not see that? Well, I'm glad I haven't had any. My sister's on a diet, so she can have this. She's on a similar one, but she's like not going as hardcore. Then I got a big ass thing of apple cider vinegar because I actually love vinegar, and I think it's from like when, like in my early 20s, I was like very, very healthy, so I always had vinegar and oil as my my dressings. Here we go again. And I also really like, I love, this is weird, but I love the taste of vinegar. You cannot have all vinegars. Like you can't have like balsamic vinegar. You actually have to read, again, every label that you come across and read it twice because I missed that sugar thing. Because it will, a lot of vinegars and a lot of like, even like rubs, like when you're cooking with like spices, you need to read those labels because a lot of them contain sugar. So there's that. So like, you think like balsamic vinegar is a no-go, but red wine vinegar is good. Anyway, I like this because I also really enjoy, I like it on my salads. Like I like to add a little bitterness, and I really like lemon cayenne. Like I genuinely like this. It's not just like a plug. One of my favorite drinks is like Kavita's lemon cayenne pepper and vinegar drink. And like I will drink, that's another staple, it's in my refrigerator though. I have a lot of lemons. So I drink like water with lemon and vinegar. And I really enjoy it. It's supposed to be like detoxifying, which I believe it is. I don't think it's just like, I believe the hype is real. In this case. Okay, so other things I discovered. Like, so on this diet, they don't want you recreating like craving, because part of it is like rewiring your psychology, so you're not eating to fulfill like some sort of psychological craving. So they don't want you to have foods that like are like, oh, this is completely like paleo friendly because it's based off paleo, but it made out of like all, but it's making a cookie or something like that. Like they don't want you having cookies. They don't want you having like your craving foods. That said, this was recommended, I think. There. Okay, well, anyway, I'll get to the point. Like they recommend spiralizing and ricing vegetables because I think they do not taste the same as rice or spaghetti, if that makes sense. They still taste like vegetables, but they're like a good like little like if you put what I've done, and the garlic flavored one is the bomb. Again, all natural ingredients. And yeah. I will make this, and then I'll put like salmon on top of it. And then that's like a nice little like kind of heavier meal. But riced cauliflower is like, I actually prefer it to rice because I feel like rice is a little bit, a lot of this is not like, I think I'm going to stick with past the diet because it's not a hard jump for me. Like I don't love carbs. I mean, I actually don't really love meat, so I'm eating more meat than I normally would. But yeah, I don't love sweets. I don't love sugars. The hardest part probably was getting rid of Diet Coke. That was hands down the hardest part. Second hardest part, obvious. Well, the thing I would probably reintroduce is I love cheese. I love me some cheese. And then just convenience, like going to a restaurant and not having, like I don't need added sugars, but it's difficult to like you can get something that's pretty much Whole30, but like if my dressing has a little bit of added sugar in it, I don't want to have to like worry about it. Does that make sense? And I do want to like cheese. I'm excited for cheese. I'm not going to bring Diet Coke back because it was very obvious that like my detoxing from that was I could not stay awake. Yeah, I'm an insomniac, so like I couldn't really sleep. So I was just like drudgy, and I was having headaches, and it was just, my mood went like I was like just a straight B for a few days. Like I like literally like was not around people because I was a different person. Like it was weird. And now I'm back to like normal me. Granted, I don't have to wake up like to go to school, but like I don't have any caffeine throughout the day. I just have like my LaCroix, which I think fulfills like, maybe it fulfills a psychological thing because it's like sparkly and it's concentrated. What am I trying to say? You get the point. But I can do without Diet Coke, and the cons far outweigh the pros. Another thing, like I read on a website that you're not supposed to snack, but it's not in either of the books, so I don't know if that's like, it was like somebody's blog. So I'm still snacking because I am not an effing angel. I am not gonna like, you know, what is it? A jaguar never loses their spots. I'm not gonna lose all of my damn spots in 30 days. Like, give me a break. Let me snack. So what I've been doing is I've been snacking on, you really, 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 really need to read the labels, but somebody else who's done the Whole30 said that like their big snack, because I'm a salty food person, which is why a lot of this is pretty easy for me, because I don't have to get rid of salt. If I had to get rid of salt, woo! Not that you're supposed to have a ton, but you get my point. I've been having plantain chips with, again, read the labels, with guacamole, but you have to make sure that your guacamole, like this one literally only has avocado, onion, tomato, jalapeno pepper, salt, garlic, lime juice, onion, and cilantro, and an acid to maintain freshness. So like, but a lot of them shockingly have sugars. So like the Sabra brand was like the only one that like fit the bill at like my local Kroger. I have not gone to Whole Foods while doing this, but I'm sure that like if you go like on Thrive Market, especially online, they have like a little Whole30 with like a stamp, because I think they have a bit of a partnership going on with Melissa Hartwig. But anyway, I literally bought enough for 2 weeks, and I kind of, and like today I went to the pool, did not pack a lunch. Rookie move. It was kind of an unplanned thing, but in hindsight, I would have packed something, because I ended up having to eat like the only thing I could eat were like 2 hot dogs, which is still like questionable because hot dogs are so processed, with no ketchup or mustard, because both contain sugar, on a paper plate, and a water bottle, like while I was watching everybody else have ice cream sandwiches. And there's so many like tasty foods that you can make on this diet that there's no excuse to like put yourself in that situation where you're like, this is the worst, because like really, if you plan, like you can have really good food. You just have to plan. And I am not the best planner when it comes, I'm good at planning I'm not great at being selfish or like putting like my health first. So I'm good at planning for my job, but like for this like lifestyle change that I'm like trying to make, I need to really, like, if I want to be successful, plan better. Anyway, those are my tips for success. And also, I have not gotten these yet, because obviously I'm glad I ordered another thing of mayonnaise, because I can't have this one. But I did order, there's like it's called Primal Foods. It's like a Whole30 brand, or Whole30 suggested brand, out of Thrive Market. And I ordered like Whole30 ketchup, Whole30 mustard, and Whole30 mayonnaise. And then I also ordered a thing of, my stores carry like ghee clarified butter, but for some reason I cannot find it to save my life. And I need to reread this. Well, if you read the book, for some reason, and I haven't been like craving butter, but it's just, I feel like it's a good to have around in case I do change my mind and feel like I need to have it. If you look, and feel free to like tune out if you're not interested for the the butter part of this conversation, but it's going to bother me. Okay, so you can have clarified butter because, even though it has dairy, I'm guessing, okay. Okay. They want you to have healthy saturated fats, not saturated fats. So good sources of animal fats include, okay, because butter comes from fat, duh. Clarified butter, duck fat, ghee, goat fat, lard, and tallow. But the reason that they like, okay, here we go. Butter is only about 80% fat. The rest is water and milk solids, proteins. Clarifying your butter removes the milk. Okay, so that makes sense. So butter, even though it's mostly animal fat, it's like 20% dairy, and clarified butter gets rid of that dairy, thus making it okay. And now the more you know. So that is how to survive and what I would say have been my essentials. Another good go-to meal is, which is how I learned how to brown meat, is like a taco salad with shredded lettuce, and it's so easy. Shredded lettuce, avocado, chopped tomatoes and onions. That's me chopping. Chopped tomatoes and onions. Plantain if you want some crunch, and then ground beef, because you can't have, keep in mind, you can't have like fake meat. That's why I've never ground beef, because I always just get like the tofu kind, because tofu is a legume, which comes from a legume, which violates all 4 of the good food standards. So, yeah, it's so, if you're prepared and like one of these bomb ass ranches, and like you feel like you're like living the dream, and again, you're losing weight. So like, and your health, like my health is like so much better. It's insane. I have so much energy, and I am on 0 caffeine, which I think that was like a psychological thing, but it was also like I was full blown addicted. Like this is a very liberating life self-experiment, which is what they call it, instead of a diet. But also side effect, you do lose weight and have better skin and reduce anxiety, etc., etc. It's better sleep. So anyway, that's what I would recommend, and I will check back in another day. Have a good evening. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring the little bell so you'll get notified. And then if you could, I would actually appreciate this if you've done Whole30 and have like any like staple like go-tos that you would recommend, please leave them in the comments below. Bye. Be blessed or read a positive quote.